Hey everybody, walk and talk. It's feeling good out here today. It's been too cold lately, but I'm out today walking, and I'm gonna try to go to work because I need some money. But this particular subject has been on my mind for a bit. It's just going round and round in my mind. I said it's time for me to speak on it. It has a lot to do with persecution consciousness. I don't know if it just came from going to church. Now, I'm specifically gonna target Black American people. That's my group. That's where I come from. This can apply to anybody. Definitely, I feel like it may have been influenced by the trauma we have experienced here as a people. If you know anything about our history, just a little bit about it, you know what I'm talking about and what I'm referring to. But we have a bad habit of looking at suffering and pain and trauma as something to be glorified, something that's divine. It proves that, you're going through this because you're somebody special to God. So what if that man ain't got nothing? Get with him and help him create something. Struggle of. Y'all struggle together, starve together, get out in the streets together, just make it work. That's what Black women, Black American women are told. No other woman in the world is told this that I know of. But everything about struggle and pain is glorified with us. Why in the world would you expect a woman to get with a man who ain't got nothing? It's a woman's nature to seek out a man who can protect and provide. It is her nature. Even animals show this in their nature. They try to choose. The way they do it is they choose the mate they feel that will give them the strongest offspring. Every woman that does not demand that her man get out and get something and be ambitious is doing her group of men a disfavor. Every woman who says, come stay with me, baby, I'll help you build, I'll help you out, you're doing that man a disfavor. I don't care about the few cases where this happened and it worked out. In most all cases, it does not work out. When that man gets on his feet, he'll stay with you for 10 years, allowing you to take care of him. He'll leave you and marry somebody else in about 5 or 6 or 8 months. Spiritually and subconsciously, men do not want that. They don't appreciate it. Because you didn't allow them to be the man that they know that they should be and they could be. You stunted their growth. But anyway, I'm talking about overall this belief system that is divine and spiritual to suffer. Talking about go through trauma, talking about it breeds character. It breeds character when you've gone through a lot of trauma and pain and abuse. You learn how to appreciate. You da-da this, da-da that. No, it doesn't. It breeds a lot of mental illness, a lot of distrust, again, all kind of mental illnesses, bipolar, schizophrenia and stuff like that. All that usually comes from people who have, especially as children, experienced extreme abuse. Nothing good comes out of that. I have seen the best people come out of situations where they had, especially if they had parents, especially two parents that were loving, but also they set boundaries up for them. They communicated with them. They taught their children to be respectful, to have honor, and they taught them the right character. Those kids grow up with healthy minds, healthy spirits, self-esteem. They reach their optimum in their 20s. 21 years old reaching their optimum. Of course, with plenty of room to go. Very successful, very self-assured, know their worth, high self-esteem, establishing and doing a lot in this world. Whereas the people who didn't have that as a child, like myself, you might not be able to achieve that greatness until you're 40 or 50 years old, if ever, when you could have achieved it in your 20s and your 20s, not even in your 30s. But if you try to tell our people this, they'll go to the Bible and pull out Bible verses. And don't get me wrong, I love the Bible. I love reading it. I'm not a Christian. I stay in Psalms and Proverbs, but sometimes, mostly I just stay in Psalms and Proverbs, but I don't mind reading other passages. A lot of what you get out of the Bible you can use to apply to your life, but a lot of it you can't. You just sound like a fool and you contradict yourself. So they go to certain Bible passages that talk about how, they talk about, was it Job who lost all his 10 kids, was sick as hell, lost everything he had for the glory of God. They'll start talking about that because they don't understand what it is that they're reading. They don't understand that. Then they want to talk about how Jesus fasted 40 days and 40 nights so he could defeat the devil or whatever. I bet you, if you try to fast 40 days and 40 nights on some water, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to make it. They're going to have to put you 6 feet under, you fool. There is nothing that you can use to justify making trauma and suffering, pain, divine. Now, don't get me wrong. I personally know of people who overcame the worst type of experiences. I know. And they overcame it and they made something out of themselves. Great. We commend you. You're an example that people can overcome their challenges and reach their highest height. You can heal, all that good stuff. You can help somebody else that's going through something or whether it's as deep or as harsh as what you went through, but you have to go through a healing process first. And before you can get to the point where you can help somebody else, you have to have healed a lot of that. And you got to stay in a healing environment, energy, and do your shadow work and talk to your therapist and all that good stuff before you even qualify. Talk about what you've been through and how you overcame. You have to heal. You can't just say, I'm successful now. You need to heal. Yeah, you successful, but you got all kind of demons in you. That's why you can take a little baby and harm that baby. You get married and put somebody through pure hell. It's a known fact. Psychologists will tell you that abused children usually grow up to abuse their children. That's all they know. And they start looking at their children like the person that abused them looked at them. Because they never had a chance to heal before they brought life into this world. You have to heal, or you're going to repeat the cycle. That's just what it is. So no, it's not God's divine protection or whatever it is that you're thinking in your mind, divine and godly. And honey, God puts you through that trauma and pain. That ain't got nothing to do with divinity. in your greatest spiritual growth and all, and none of that. Okay, you can grow from it, but that, wait a minute, we just stop it. Sit down, take a breather, do self-assessment so you can see how crazy your mind is. Go talk to a professional. You'll be shocked. I was shocked after talking to a professional for my therapist 3 years. I was shocked the way she put up a mirror in front of me and let me see why certain things were happening or weren't happening in my life. And I was able to connect it to certain characteristics, actions, thought patterns that negatively been affecting me all my life, that I got from what happened to me as a child. There is nothing special about suffering. These people will say to you and to your kids, I'm not going to, put them out at 18 and let them go for it. And when I was a child, I had to get out at 17 or 16. I had nobody to help me. You get out and make it work. And character comes from suffering and being with that. No, oh my God. I've heard people say that. And even if you're not saying these things, it's in your subconscious. But the same thing concerning the child can really apply to us as a people. We've been abused as a people, so we deflect that abuse, especially on ourselves and other people who look like us. There's certain expectations that people who ain't got, they look like you, but they don't have the same social awareness. They don't have the same experiences as you have had and been having for hundreds of years. Right here in your own country, they don't have those experiences. So they reject that. I don't blame them. Shit, they didn't come here for that. I don't blame them. So you have this Christ consciousness about you that makes you feel like you're above, that suffering and trauma is something that you're supposed to go through. That's a mental illness within itself. Struggle love is a mental illness within itself. You might have to end up struggling with your mate because things happen, but you don't go into no relationship with no mate like that. You don't do that. No. No, that's not how it's supposed to work. So black people, we have to deal with this deeply embedded subconscious and psychological desire and I don't want to say love for, but respect for suffering and struggling and sacrificing. And we have to learn what the difference between selflessness and selfishness. No, we're not supposed. We didn't come here to go through hell. We just had a lot of hell that we had to go through to get here, and we still going through it. But no, it's not divine to be traumatized and abused and violated and stuff like that. I've heard people say, people that have been through that, you got gold up to your head. You done been through the fire. And what? I don't want to go through. I don't need to go through the fire of being essayed and violated as a child. I don't need to go through the fire of having your self-esteem destroyed for the rest of your life. I don't need to go through the trauma of being abandoned and rejected, homeless at 13 and 14 years old because your parents ain't worth a piece of dog poo on the ground. I don't need that to build character and to have honor and learn how to be grateful. I don't need that mess. That's not a God. That's just something that it happens to a lot of people, and you just have to heal. Trauma, pain, and suffering is not of God, baby. It is not. And I don't care what you say. You can go through that Bible all you want. You don't even know what you're looking at. You really don't know how to read the Bible. You need to put it down. A lot of that stuff is allegory. And some of it you can use. So stop contradicting yourself, because that's exactly what you're doing too. If you saw somebody beating their child and calling them names, you don't say, oh, that child gonna grow up and he gonna have some strong character. He gonna be strong. No, you say, no, hell, no, man, you can't do that. You gonna call Child Protective Services. You should, and try to help that child before that parent or that person destroy them or even kill them by what they're doing to them. But then you want to turn around and say that breeds spiritual enlightenment. Like I said, a lot of this is subconscious. You making it because you're going to suffer and make it. Not you're going to work hard and strive to make it and be persistent and determined against the odds that you're going to run into when it comes to building your dreams. Not that. You got a persecution and a victim consciousness. A lot of it is not our fault, but it is our responsibility to recognize it and fix it. We got to fix it. Ain't nobody, the people that cause it, these devils that cause it, they're not going to fix it. We have to fix it. So I just wanted to put that out there. It was on my heart. Thank you all for listening today. I love you. Stay safe. Stay strong. Help people in need. Stay dangerous. Peace.